Hey there. Happy Thursday. I'm so excited to be back for this week's episode of Icon Energy. Again, my name is Oh, let me see. So it's a little bit of a delay, my mistake. But again, welcome back to Icon Energy here on Thursdays. My name is Coco Gunn, and I am a confidence and communications coach. And I'm here to give you 30 minutes of golden nuggets that surround the topics of confidence and communication. Now, today we are talking about daily habits that you can use to build your habits every single day. Now, here's the deal: confidence is not something that just you have all the time. It definitely is something that you have to consistently work at every single day. And to be honest with you, it's not easy, especially given the world we live in today with social media comparisons, jobs, working remotely, showing up on Zoom, all things that we have all struggled with. I feel like it's been since the pandemic. Things have just been weird and awkward since then. It's kind of bizarre. But I wanted to kind of start off with, what if I told you that if fear didn't exist, I don't think confidence would be a problem. Because majority of the time, fear steps in. Fear is something that prevents us from doing a lot of things. And to be honest with you, there's two ways to think about the word fear, right? Face everything and run, or face everything and rise. You kind of have to decide on which one you choose. Now, where does confidence come into play? Well, if you face everything and run, that means that you have a low level of confidence. But if you face everything and rise, that means you're constantly working on your confidence level. You feel self assured, you feel self esteem, you feel like, hey, you know what? I can do anything. I can do anything I want, right? So you have to decide, okay, do you run from things? Do you shy away from things? Do you shrink yourself? I just spit the screen. That's disgusting. Do you shrink yourself? Or do you face everything and rise to the occasion? All right. So today we're going to run over a few things. One, daily habits that strengthen your confidence, practical tools to silence the self doubt, and of course, insights on how to work on accelerating this transformation as quickly as possible. Now, we are in the holiday season, right? Christmas is around the corner, literally next week. I know some of you are now mentally preparing for New Year's. What am I going to do in the new year? What are my goals? What are my New Year's resolutions? And here's the revelation. Yes, you can wait until January 1st to start this incredible transformation into building your confidence. Or you can start right now. Now, typically when we talk about confidence, there's a few things that we struggle with. And it's something we all deal with. And one of them is, of course, negative self talk and our critics. I like to think about the angel and the devil on your shoulder, right? And most of the time, we are we're harder on ourselves than we think other people are. Now let me take a step back and say, listen, I made a post about this, I think last week, where I talked about you cannot manage other people's expectations of you, right? So that's something that we also have to deal with is meeting expectations and living up to the hype of what someone else has created for us to be. But at the same time, we are often stuck in this cycle of negative self-talk and our inner critic that says, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not brave enough. And those are the things that really take over, which are the things that we consistently have to work on because we can say all day long, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people say about me. But one thing that we do, which is funny, now that I think about it, it's really funny. We can go to the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, my hair looks terrible today, or I have a breakout, I have acne, and it bothers us. But when someone else says it about us, why does it sting so much? Why does it hurt? Like, why does it feel worse when someone else says it about us versus when we say it about ourselves? It should actually be the opposite. If you think about it, We should be more concerned with how we talk to ourselves versus what someone else that doesn't live our life, doesn't pay our bills, does nothing for us, says about us. It's strange how that works. We also deal with, of course, those feelings of not being good enough or fear of judgment, right? If we fail, if we aren't successful, right? What are people going to say? What is the internet going to say? That's typically what we've now tied validation to is likes, comments, shares, what people think about us, what people say about us. When in reality, we really shouldn't care. And to be honest, a lot of the time, most people don't care at all. They're so focused on themselves, they're so focused on their growth, they're so focused on their journey that they don't have 2 seconds to even think about what you wore on your Instagram live or what you wore to the mall or what you wore on your story or what you saw. The people that do have time for that, they're bored and they need to find other things to do, because at the end of the day, you have to remind yourself. And when this is going to sound not even going to sound bad, it's going to sound like, you're not as important to other people as you think you are. That's just the reality of it. We place too much emphasis on what other people think about us, what other people say about us, when in reality, they don't really care as much as we think they do. We also deal with the hesitation to take action because of self-doubt. And I'm probably going to say the word action a lot in this live today because we can talk all day. I'm going to do a morning routine. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to eat healthy. But if you're not taking any action, forget about it. It's easy to talk about it. And they say this, right? The phrase, don't talk about it, be about it, right? That's one thing that some of us lack is we say all these great, incredible, amazing things, but we never take action on any of them. And then we get mad later on when things are still the same. My life is still the same. My habits are still the same. Taking action, now mind you, is challenging for some because it's breaking habits that you've consistently done for a long time. So it's scary. And you have to think, okay, if I step outside of my comfort zone, what's that going to look like for me? What is going to happen? What's on the other side of that leap of faith? And my business coach always tells me, jump and the net will appear. You have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith in who you are and your greatness. So for me, confidence, of course, isn't about eliminating fear because that's not going to go away. It's just how you frame your mind to think about it. You can think about it as, oh, I'm scared, I'm terrified, or I'm going to take on this challenge. I can be successful. I know it's going to improve me if I can make it past this barrier, boulder, or boundary. Now, for me, confidence, I think as I've aged and gotten older, it has been something that I thought about because when I grew up, I'm totally telling my age just a little bit, we didn't have to worry about social media and the platform. We didn't have to worry about someone recording us and it being posted on the internet. We were outside on our bikes, on skates, making sure that we're home before the porch light comes on. We had to we had to record songs that we liked on a tape. And so the times have changed, and I can 100% understand why it is difficult nowadays for us to work on confidence because we are constantly in a comparison mindset. What is this person doing? What is this person doing? How's this person acting? What is this person saying? And it can consume us because we're in a market where we consume so much. We're constantly on our social media platforms. We're constantly scrolling. What is this person doing? How is their life? Oh, I want that life. Oh, I want to be successful like them. And so it really takes a toll on your confidence level because you're going to compare yourself to someone else who is taking a completely different path than you. Completely different. And again, social media is not reality. You're only going to see what someone wants for you to see. And we cannot compare our life and what we're doing outside of that platform to them. Because how many of you all will show up online straight out of bed, hair's a mess, crust in your eyes, haven't brushed your teeth? Probably no one. That's the reality. What isn't the reality is when you wake up and you already have a robe on, your hair's already done, your makeup's already done. I don't know anyone that goes to sleep and wakes up the exact same way they fell asleep. It's impossible because our body moves throughout the night. So we have to remind ourselves, listen, get out of this comparison mindset. For me, I think I found that I've struggled more now with confidence than I did when I was younger because I didn't have a comparison. I wasn't out comparing myself to filters or to someone else's lifestyle because it wasn't visible to me. The only way I knew about someone else's life is if I actually physically talked to them in person. And even then, those conversations, they were genuine, they were authentic, but you still didn't know. You didn't know what was going on at home in somebody else's life. So let's talk about some daily habits. Okay, this is going to be something that I want for you to write down because I think it is super important. Okay, first one is start with a confidence boosting morning ritual, whatever that looks like for you. For some, it's morning affirmations, talking positively to yourself, writing them down, putting a post-it note on your mirror of, I'm great. I'm going to be the best confidence coach ever. I am enough, right? Start with something that is going to put your mind in a positive place. If that's affirmations, if that's listening to a podcast, if that's listening to a meditation, the important thing that we a lot of times miss because we don't wake up on time is we don't have a morning ritual. We don't have a morning routine. How you start your day sets the pace. So if you're waking up late, you're rushing, you have, your clothes aren't ready for work, or your kids they don't have their clothes ready for school, your day is going to be a hot mess because you're starting the day with chaos. So find a good, consistent morning routine and stick to it, whatever that looks like for you. For me, it's affirmations and doing my skincare routine, and I do journaling with gratitude. So that's my morning routine. And I can tell when I don't get to it or when I put it off or when I start it late, my day is really weird and awkward and off. And it doesn't go as positive for the most part as I would like for it to have gone had I done what I was supposed to do first thing in the morning. Now, number 2 is practice self-validation. Stop looking for validation on the internet because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know who's behind that comment. You don't know who's behind that screen. Start finding validation in yourself. At the end of the day, write down 3 things that you did great. It's kind of like, you start in the morning with gratitude, you end the day with gratitude. What did you do great? Did you get a promotion? Did you nail that presentation? Did you go to the gym? Did you eat a healthy breakfast? Did you drink enough water? The thing is, they don't have to be this elaborate, successful thing. For some of us, we forget about the small steps that we take to building confidence that we do throughout the day. Talking positively to ourselves, taking a shower, doing a skincare routine, eating healthy, drinking water, going for a walk, getting to the gym. To me, those are things that you can definitely write down that you did that were successful. They may be super small to some people, but at the end of the day, it is a step in the direction for you building your confidence and creating that self-validation as opposed to someone else. And the thing is when you do it within yourself, you stop thinking about what other people, or you stop thinking or searching or looking for it from somebody else. Okay, so when you start saying to yourself, validating yourself, you no longer are worried about getting validation from them because you have it here already, right? And who doesn't want that, right? Next is take bold action daily. What does that mean? It could be small things, right? I added extra weight to my squats today. I did an extra mile on the treadmill. I only had, I didn't have any candy today. I have a sweet tooth, by the way, so I always say that to myself. At nighttime, I just have a sweet tooth, so I try to find recipes online that are not as processed, don't have a lot of ingredients, but can satisfy that sweet tooth and still be healthy. That to me is a step in the direction of building confidence for me because now I don't feel bad the next day when I eat a bag of candy or when I have a brownie or when I have a piece of cake, when I can eat a healthy snack, still satisfy that sweet tooth and still feel good in the morning. Like, hey, you know what? I did it, right? So take bold action. And that also even goes to at your job. speaking up in a meeting, hopping on your Instagram story and showing yourself. Hey guys, I'm here at the gym. Just want to let you know, check in, get off, right? So small steps can make a huge difference in building your confidence level. Taking action is a big deal. And again, I talked about this at the beginning of the live. You have to take action in your life. You have to show up for yourself every day. Because no one else is going to do it for you, mind you. No one else is going to do it for you. You have to say to yourself, okay, what am I going to take? What is it that I'm going to do today to take action towards my goals? And it doesn't have to be a 3, 4, 5 hour task. It could be, you know what, for 30 minutes, I'm going to go read a book and work on my personal development. For an hour, I'm going to work on my presentation that I have to do, that's due in 2 weeks, not even due tomorrow, right? Don't procrastinate. But those are things that you can start to do to feel more confident and start taking steps in the direction that you want. So you're not hustling and bustling. You're not worrying about what others think. You're not seeking validation because you've already done the work, the internal work. And now let me tell you, this is something that you have to do consistently. Okay. Just because you're watching this live today does not mean that tomorrow you do it for what tomorrow and then you go back to your regular habits. Now, it is not easy. Okay. And I think people always say, like, anything in life that's worth having isn't easy to get. So it's not easy, but confidence is built by taking action, period. Stepping outside your comfort zone, trying something new. The thing is, as you build your confidence, you have to remember you are going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the reality of it. And lastly, is I want you to think about your circle. Who are you surrounding yourself with? And I think we've all heard this phrase. You are an average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. If you are surrounding yourself with Debbie Downers, negative Nancy's, people that aren't happy, they're miserable with their lives, trust me, you're going to, that energy is going to latch onto you and you're going to start to behave that way. Negative, angry, frustrated, resentful, judgmental. So look at your circle. Right now, in this moment, I want you to write down the 5 people that you hang out with the most. And then evaluate what your life looks like now. What your energy, what you feel when you hang out with them. What does your energy feel like? What does your heart say? What does your gut tell you? If it's off, or it's weird, or it's negative, or it's uncomfortable, not positive uncomfortable. Like, I go back to saying you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, but you shouldn't be in an environment that gives you the ick. And we all know what the ick is. You need to be in an environment where you can thrive. You need to be in an environment where people will support you. You need to be in an environment that's positive because, again, we all go through changes. We all go through challenges in our life. And who we surround ourselves with is our support system. So if you're surrounding yourself with people that when you vent, when you have a frustration, they egg it on, they encourage it, they keep you in that mindset, it's probably time to rethink your circle of friends. Because over time, that's gonna take a huge toll on you mentally. And before you know it, you're not even gonna recognize yourself. You're gonna be like, I don't even feel happy anymore. I don't even want to do anything anymore because that energy you've now taken on and you've replicated it and you're miserable. Okay, so surround yourself with positivity. And sometimes it doesn't even mean your circle of friends. It could also mean your job, where you work, your coworkers, your boss. If they're negative, if they're micromanaging you, if they're not positive, that is going to affect you at home. I know some of you work before we worked remote and we had to be in the office. I know for a fact, even for me, when I worked for a company, if my day went bad, if my coworkers and I didn't get along, or if my boss got on my case about something, I would try my hardest to not bring that home, but sometimes you can't help it. So be mindful of that and set boundaries, set barriers for yourself. Sometimes you have to say, hey, you know what, guys? I don't really want to talk about this, so I'm going to go grab a coffee or I'm going to go to the restroom. And you don't even have to say anything. Sometimes you just say, excuse me, I'll go to the restroom. I'll be right back. That's okay. Because again, no one wants to walk around carrying that heavy load of negativity. It's draining. It's exhausting. You feel like crap. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to walk around feeling like crap. I can tell you that right now. So let's talk a little about the transformation. Okay, what does that bring? When you start working on it and when you start really diving into your self-validation, your morning routine, what happens? Well, you start to feel like you can have those conversations. You become more authentic, you become more genuine, you come into your own. And with our society today, especially with social media, some of us have completely lost ourselves because we're trying to live up and create or be this person that everyone we think expects us to be, and it never works out in our favor. It never. Because eventually you get tired, you get fed up, you get resentful. So when you start doing these things, you start to find yourself. The best version of you, mind you, the best version. And who doesn't want to be the best version of themselves? I know that I do. I want to be the best version of myself. I want to show up as the best version of myself. And that's so important. Also, when you work on your confidence, you have a increased ability to achieve your goals and get over the fear of judgment. And a lot of the times, judgment from others who don't pay your bills, by the way, affects how we go after our goals, how we go after the things that we want. What if they don't like it? What if they don't like me when I do this? Who cares? I can tell you right now, I felt this way for a long time. And a lot of it had to do with me being in a performance art, right? I am a salsa dancer. I have a dance company. I'm also into pageants. So we are constantly trying to get that approval of a standing ovation or winning a pageant or winning Miss Congeniality or best dress, right? So I know what you're going through and I can totally relate. And the minute I start working on me, the minute I started setting boundaries for myself, the minute I started working on my confidence, I started to literally not give a F about what people thought about me because their opinion shouldn't matter to my growth. Their opinion shouldn't matter in my life because they don't live me. They don't live my life. They're not in my house. They're not sitting down watching TV with me. They're an outside person trying to get perspective on a life they know nothing about. So when you start working on your confidence, that's the thing. That's the transformation that happens. But it takes work. It takes effort. It takes time. You have to want it. And I talk to my team about this all the time. I cannot want greatness for you more than you want greatness for you. You have to want it bad. You have to say to yourself, okay, this is enough. I'm going to go after what I want. I'm going to go after my dreams. I'm going to go after my goals. And I don't care if no one likes it. I don't care if no one agrees with it. It is my life to live. And that's it. Bottom line. So let's talk about a little bit about what I want you to think about. Okay. I want you to think about this question. What's one daily habit you're ready to commit to for building your confidence out of the ones I just gave you? Creating your own self validation, having a morning routine, taking action, checking your circle. Okay. Those are 4 things that you really have to say, okay, which one of these can I implement tomorrow? Which one can I implement right now? And lastly, is this journey is your journey and your journey alone. And I think the other day I saw something online where it said, just lost my train of thought. Oh, it's called Energy Stealers. It is 100% okay to not tell people what you're doing. 100% okay. They don't need to know your business. They don't need to know what you have planned. They don't need to know what you have on your plate for your goals. Because sometimes when you tell too much, that energy comes in, and the next thing you know, you're not there because their opinions, their thoughts about you, about what you're doing are going to affect how you, my dogs, sorry, are going to affect how you go after what it is that you want. So let's give a recap here because I have 5 minutes left with you. Key takeaways. Confidence, of course, is built daily. It is a habit. It is something that you have to do every single day. Now, also start small, but be consistent. If it's just one thing, your morning routine could be that one thing. Stick to that morning routine. A habit is made in 14 days. Okay, so keep that in mind. One thing. I am guilty 100% of trying to do, adding things like, right, trying to do so many different things and make all these changes. And guess what happens? I don't achieve any of them and they don't last very long. So start small, but be consistent with whatever it is that you're going to start implementing tomorrow. Okay. Not in the new year, tomorrow. Okay. Now, another thing to think about is on this, you have to remind yourself that you are transforming yourself with every step that you take. Every small piece of action that you take, you are transforming yourself into the greatness. So what I want you to do is, if you're ready to fast track your confidence journey, listen, I am offering some amazing specials right now for my one-on-one coaching. I've moved away from group coaching and really want to focus on my one-on-one clients. So if you are someone that is looking to build your confidence, you're struggling with self-doubt, you're struggling with negative self-talk, head over to my page, check out the holiday packages. If you know someone that is going to need this and they're like, hey, they don't want to take that first step and you want to encourage them, give them a coaching package. Sometimes we see things in people and we're like, man, I wish that they would do this. I wish that they would have more confidence. I wish that they would stand up for themselves. I wish that they would set boundaries. If you're that friend and you know someone that's in that place, give them a confidence coach package. If they're struggling with their business, gift them a 1-hour coaching session with a business coach. We're so caught up in gifting these elaborate purses. Listen, I love Gucci and Louis Vuitton, but please, the amount of money that we spend on a purse, I could be using that to invest in myself. So start investing in you, whatever that looks like. Okay. All right. We are done for the day with almost 2 minutes left to spare. Thank you again for joining me today on Icon Energy. Listen, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I will see you all next week. Ciao.